You did the same thing I did. Wait, the red button's on. So when the red button came on, I look at the red button. The button's on. Oh no, the button's on. Quick, put a game face on. Kelly, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, considering everything that's going on. How are you?
Yeah, same. I'm just going to wait a few seconds whilst a few people jump on. Great to see Bosey's here, Russell's here, more people are joining. Oliver After Dark has joined us. That's all good. I'm here live on Facebook, the Book of Actual Faces with the actual Kelly Hardwick, all the way from quite close to my house. Like you could almost pop in if that was allowed, couldn't you? You're not that far away.
No, could have social distance in the garden.
Blogger, journalist, antagonizer of trolls on the internet. What else? Shooter of male and females using guns.
Yep.
Array of guns behind your head. What could go wrong? I'm slightly scared about this, but what could go wrong? I've moved house, by the way. You can't hunt me down. I've moved house.
Okay. Damn it, that was my plan all along.
What did I miss off the list? House Rabbit Guardian.
House Rabbit Guardian. I'm also a doggy mum to be, and I'm a social media and marketing manager.
Oh yeah, that too. Forgot about that bit.
That one, just chuck that in there.
Right, there are a number of dog lovers that will be watching this evening. Let's get the dog thing out of the way. So I would imagine, so someone like you, representing women in a very male-dominated world, surrounded by guns, tattoos, piercing, like it's got to be a German Shepherd or a Bulldog or a Bull Mastiff or something like that. Tell me, come on.
I am getting a long-haired Chihuahua.
Of course you are.
And his name is going to be Lord Dexter of House Hardwick, the first of his name.
Right. You know what? If I was a betting man, I would have won a load of money. I would absolutely have predicted all of that you just said.
Yeah, I bet you would have. I know you would have.
So look, the stuff that we're going to chat about tonight is we're going to dive into blogging, how to make money out of blogging, the process of different income streams, whether it's going for sponsorship from actual companies where you have to email actual humans and speak to actual people on the phone, through to the Patreon stuff where fans are donating cash. I'm guessing for content, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more. And we're going to talk about how to handle trolls. We're going to talk about the dreams of the future and all that good stuff. The thing that went through my mind was I was looking at your website. Jack's going to post your website in the thread so we can see it.
Thanks, Jack.
For the benefit of all the folks watching here, the thing that's going through my head is what kind of friend invites you to a shooting party in 2014? Because that's where all this stuff began, wasn't it?
My first game was in 2011.
Oh, right, okay.
One of my best friends decided her boyfriend played airsoft, which for those of you who don't know, it's a lot like paintball. It's a wargaming sport where we dress up in camouflage and we use replica weapons to shoot 6mm BBs at each other. You have to wear eye pro. You don't have to wear face pro, but BBs do knock out teeth, so I would highly recommend.
That's a very, very good tip. If you're going to get, like Kelly, you're a reasonable shot these days. So I think if I was playing an airsoft game with you, I would be in some sort of full body armor, a little bit like one of the Knights of the Round Table just before we went in the jousting match. I think that's what I'd go for.
Chainmail.
So you played airsoft, you got shot, and you shot at other people with the ball bearing stuff, and then you thought, this sounds like a really good idea. I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, the first one, I was like, that was terrible because it was cold, it was wet. I got shot in the face because I wasn't wearing face pro. I've still got a scar actually from that. But I was like, this is terrible. I'm not doing this again. That's it. I tried it, try anything once, try it again if you're frisky. But I then decided to try it again in 2014 because my boyfriend at the time was like, I want to do this for my birthday. And I was like, okay, not doing it. I was like, if you buy me this gun, this bright pink gun, which I still have, it's in the other gun room downstairs. I was like, if you buy me this, I will do it. No worries. And I obviously expected him not to get it. And I was like, yeah, mate, I did it. I'm out of this. And then it turned up and I was like, oh, right. But the second time we did it, it was August. It was a lot warmer. I wore face protection. I wore kit that actually fit me. So by the end of the day, it was so enjoyable. I was like, we should do this all the time. And then I discovered indoor airsoft, which is CQB, close quarter battle. And that, when you're walking around those, like, you're going through doorways and stuff, and your heart's like this. It's like, no, my computer's going off. It's so, the adrenaline's there. It's not cold. Well, it can be cold, but it's not like wet and dirty. And I'm just like, if it's like this all the time, I'm doing it all the time. And then it started from one weekend a month to every single weekend for the last 6 years, except lockdown. That's ruined my spring. So here we are.
That's clipped your wings a little bit.
A little
I get
bit.
that. But there was a time when, because I remember the conversations, you came to a pop-up business school in Reading, I think something like 2017, something like that, or 2016, maybe 2017.
And November 2016, I think it was.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was right. And we were running in the Waterstones shop,
the old
in the
Waterstones in
shop.
the Oracle.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you came down there, and at that point there was a bit of a tension because you were going, I want to leave my job. I don't enjoy my job, and I've got this thing. I've made this blog, and I've got a couple of followers, and I got a few followers on Instagram. You had quite a sizable following then, and you were kind of going, I want to figure out if I can turn this into money.
See if I can do something with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what can you remember what size the audience was at that sort of time?
So the blog had like 7,000 readers a month, I think. And then my Instagram was maybe 17,000. I think it was 17,000.
Right.
And then, well, Henry was trying to get me to go to a pop-up business school for years, literally years. But I was always like, it sounds like a scam. How can you make money with no money? That was my thinking. And then eventually I think it was like 4 months off sick from work with stress because I was just so stressed about my job. I hated it so much. I didn't want to do it. And then eventually I decided, yeah, I'll come down to Reading for 2 weeks. I'll do the course. I sat at the back and didn't speak to everyone. And then Alan got me involved. And
yeah, he does do that.
He does
the
do
Donegan
that.
eyebrow will draw you into the crowd.
It's like, I'm sorry.
There's no place to hide, Kelly.
I know there is. Not even with behind the staff. I couldn't even get sitting behind Jack and be like, no.
Nope.
But yeah, I went down, and then I think it was, we'd tried to make some sales that week. They didn't work out. So I was obviously super disheartened about it. And Alan was like, no, you just got to pick yourself up and carry on doing it. And then I think it was January 2017. That was when I said to you, Simon, I've quit my job. Like you told me to.
I don't remember that. You know, I tell this story at every single pop-up business school. Every time I run a day one of one of our courses, we've got your face is on our slides. I don't know if you know that, but the face is like,
Kelly,
we've got about 3 slides dedicated to you. It's like, I remember when Kelly rang me up and said, just like you told me to, I've left my job. And I was like panicking. I didn't say that to you.
That's not what I said.
I didn't say that. And then I thought, right, we better get to it then. And I think we talked about direct marketing to manufacturers of airsoft equipment, because those were the people that were most likely to want your audience. So that was our kind of thinking, wasn't it? And we said, let's draw up a list of them. And you went, well, actually, I know a couple. Maybe I should start there. Yeah. So what happened? I don't really, I mean, I know that it went well because we're having a conversation now and it's a few years on, but what actually happened then after we had that chat?
So it wasn't a manufacturer that took their chance on me at first. It was a huge retailer in the UK. They're one of the biggest for tactical kit. So they do all the kind of big brands in like 511, Arc'teryx, all that sort of stuff. And I'd approached them a few years earlier and they were like, yeah, we'd be happy to send you some stuff to review. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Awesome. And they'd been sending me stuff for a couple of years. And then I approached them like, hey guys, so this is my full-time job now. I'd really appreciate it if you could compensate me for my time. And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, what would you like? And I was like, oh, what? You know, I was like, what? What? I was like, well, this is my rates. And they're like, okay, cool. I was like, I did it. And then I was like, oh no, this is my full-time job. And then I quit my job. Yeah. That lady, when I handed my notice in, she was not very nice about it at all. She was very disappointed in me because I'd only been there 2 weeks, because I'd got another job just in case.
Right.
And then when I came home, my mum and dad were like, why? And I was like, well, you only live once. Let's try it.
But wait, this isn't a proper job. Blogging isn't a proper job, right?
Oh, the amount of times, do you know what? I've gone to family events and my mum's told them I'm unemployed. And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? No, I'm not unemployed. It's just every time you come around the house, I'm dressed up in airsoft kit, like trying to take photos or trying to like sort setups out. Now, like, you think I'm having fun. This is work. Obviously I have fun, but it's work. I'm like.
So look, since you took the leap, and you've obviously, we're going to dive into some of the ways that you can earn money from blogging and what's worked for you and what hasn't and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing's taken you all around the world, hasn't it? I mean, every time I look at my Facebook feed, you're in a different country until recently.
Yeah, until recently. Yeah, no, so I've been when I quit my job in 2017, one of my friends I met through Airsoft on Instagram, Leah, she said to me, she was like, would you like to come to America? And I was like, oh my God, I've never been to America. Yes. And then my boyfriend at the time, there's always boyfriends involved in this. He was deploying to Afghanistan and he was like, I don't want you to be upset. So would you like to go and visit Leah for like 6 weeks? I'll pay for your tickets. And I was like, yes. So yeah, got on a plane across the Atlantic. It was an 11-hour flight on my own. I've never flown on my own. I'd never been to America. I'd never met these people in real life. And I was like, yes, why not? Let's go across the world. And I think I've been to America 5 times now. I've played all around the States, from East Coast, West Coast, up mountains, like blazing heat. I've been to Taiwan for a shooting competition, which I was media. I wasn't competing. They would have all lost, of course. And then I go to Germany every year for one of the shows, and I've played in France, Greece. That was hot. I spent most of it. Why don't the English like heat? Look at me. I'm sunburnt now.
So look, you've traveled around the world. You've managed to turn this into an income. Where does the cash come from? Because I know that there'll be a bunch of people that'll be really interested in how you monetize the fact that you got, an Instagram following. When you first turned it into a business, around 7,000 views a month. That's to value, because you've got this audience and it's a very niche audience. So that's all good.
Definitely, yeah.
So you've ticked that box fine, and the channels have grown amazingly. Just before we dive into the money stuff, just flex on the numbers for me. What's the views of the blog? What's the size of the channel? What's going on for you now?
So my Instagram is at it's almost at 77,000 followers. Facebook is 8,300. I also have a personal page on Instagram that's like got 6,000 followers. YouTube is 11,500. Oh, sorry. There's so many.
It's not actually a job. You're fine. It's a job. It's a proper job. It's a proper job.
The blog's like 20,000 readers a month. So that's I recently celebrated my 1 million views, and I planned a massive garden party because I was like, do you know what? Hot tub, drinks. I bought all these ridiculous flamingos, inflatable flamingos, because I was like, I was going to have this massive party, and then lockdown happened 2 weeks before, and I was like, oh no. But yeah.
So have you got a surplus of pink flamingos that is currently in your house they're just not doing anything?
They're in a box. So basically I said when lockdown was over, I'm hiring a DJ. I'm having a natural bar in my back garden. Like, the tub may have to be thrown away because it's going to get that Larry. It's like the views now, I think they're at like, I think it's like 1.1 million, 1.2 million now. So amazing. I'm like, I've passed my 1 million mark. But for a tiny little blog that people said couldn't make any money, I'm like, do you know what? That's not half bad.
Nice work. Congratulations. It's an amazing achievement. I know you put lots of effort, a hell of a lot of effort into it. So the thing that's going through my mind is, okay, you got the blog, you got the views, they're coming in, the channels are growing. How do you turn that into cash? What sort of processes did you go through to turn that into an income for you?
So there's a bunch of ways that I earn money through it. One of the first ways I earned money was sponsor reviews. So companies pay me to feature their kit, their guns and stuff on my platform. So either social media or on the blog. Pardon me, sorry, the gin's hit. So yeah, they essentially, what influencers do is they sell attention. So companies give me their things and I'm like, I'll try them out. The only thing I think that sets me apart from a lot of influencers is if someone gives me something and it is absolute trash, I will be like, hey guys, I've written this review. Here it is. If you don't want it published, it doesn't have to be, but I want you to send that to R&D and tell them what needs to be improved on. It doesn't have to be published, but it needs to be developed. And can you also send me something else that isn't trash? Thank you. People have been really funny with me about that. But if you have people that trust your opinion, you don't want to alienate their opinion by being like, this is the best thing ever when it's trash. You don't want that. But yeah, sponsored reviews, social media campaigns. So companies all pay me to wear their kit, wear their brand. But I only work with companies I believe in. I think I made a couple of mistakes at the start of my career because obviously I was scrambling essentially. I was scared about the fact I've just left my job. I did choose some companies that maybe didn't fit my brand values and stuff, which obviously I've taken in my stride now and I've learned from it. Like I don't work with them anymore. I only now work with companies that I wear anyway. Those companies I've worked with since the start, they work with me now, and that's how that is. How else? Affiliate links. Amazon affiliates has been pretty great. I once did a blog post about gloves, and the gloves were on Amazon, so I was like, I'll chuck a cheeky link in there. That's fine, guys. Oh no, how do I put this on Do Not Disturb?
You're supposed to be an expert at this stuff, and you can't work your phone, Kelly. I love it.
My phone's on Do Not Disturb, but my laptop is just not having it.
Okay, that's a different game. The laptop's a different game.
The laptop's a different game. Can I put it on Do Not Disturb? I don't know. Yeah, here we are. We're done. But yeah, I put in a cheeky link to these gloves, and because the links last for 24 hours, and at the time it was like 10% of all sales, someone bought a £600 shed. Not complaining. I got 60 quid of the sale.
Right. So they clicked your link for a pair of gloves and ended up buying a shed. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's the internet for you, everybody.
I love the way the internet works. It's great.
So because it came off of your link, then you got a percentage of the sale, right? You earned a commission off of that.
Yeah. And affiliate links are really, if you have a high traffic, they are really good for that sort of thing. I did earn YouTube revenue up until the whole PewDiePie scandal. My account was then deemed to not be in the bracket. So I was like, oh, okay. But that's fine. And yeah, Patreon's a good one. Oh, we also write now. I do social media campaigns for companies. I do a lot of things under one umbrella. I'm a one-lady band that appears to have 15 people, but I don't. I need 15 people.
So I'm going to invite people to ask any questions that they may have about blogging, about growing an Instagram accounts, about Patreon, about some of the mechanics behind affiliate links. If any of you guys have got some questions, then please stick them in the thread. The place that my head's gone to now is, okay, so you've hit 1 million views. What's the dream? What's the next goal? Where are you headed?
So people have been asking me this since the start of me doing this. What is the goal? And at first it was just to have fun. I just wanted to have fun and, have a platform where I was like, this is what I like. This is what worked for me. And then it was, I want this to be my full-time job. And now it's my full-time job. I'm kind of like, I want to build an empire. I want to build an empire. That's what I want to do. And I don't know what I mean by empire, but that's kind of like the overall goal. I want to have a platform that's super positive, that puts women in the forefront of a sport where I think they've been not really left on the sidelines, but it's never really been put in the forefront as they are now. So I definitely want a platform that's super positive, that gives women information they need from women, not men, because some of the posts I see, a lady will ask for a chest rig recommendation. A chest rig's like it just covers this, straps, no boob protection, no back protection. And then a man will suggest a plate carrier. Just give the lady what she wants. Just give her a plate, just not a plate carrier, just give her a chest rig recommendation. But yeah, I want to empower women. That's what I want to do. Oh, I don't know. Just everything.
Let's talk about these posts because I'm, as a betting man, I reckon if I put a little bet on to say you've had at least one troll on one of your channels, I think I'd be a rich man off of that
You
bet.
would be a rich man, yeah.
How did, like, when you were first, maybe this happened, I'm sure, before you turn it into the day job, but because it's a very male dominated sport, and like there's definitely much more female influence. I've seen that from your channel actually than there was maybe 3 or 4 years ago when we first met.
Yeah.
But when you first got negativity or hate or trolls stuff that was happening on your channel, what did it make you think? Like, I'm really interested to know how you react to that, and do you react differently now to how you did then?
So I didn't think anyone had an issue with me until I hit like maybe 10,000 followers, because everyone was super, super nice to me. Everyone was like, yeah, this is great. And then at 10,000, it kind of just took a really steep turn. There was lots of people coming out of the woodwork that was like, that, you know, this girl's just doing it for attention. She's just doing it for this. And I'm like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And back then, like Alan, you've known me that long. I was always super reactionary. I would fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. Just name the place, time. You know what I mean? That's how I used to be. I always used to be like, do you know what? Come and say it to my face.
So you would enter into a bit of a spat with someone on a thread, right?
Yeah. Okay. 2000, like, I wasn't afraid then to get into absolute, like, complete, like, slanging matches on the internet. But as it became a business, I realized that anything that I put out there into the world not only reflects on me as a person, it also reflects on my brand, and it reflects poorly as well. So it got to the point where I read Gary Vee's book, Crush It. That was a great thing. And he said that you respond 10% of the time with positivity and love, and then 90% of the time you just ignore it. I still don't follow his advice.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I can feel like you just wouldn't let it lie, would you?
I wouldn't let it lie. No, like, so now I'm very, now I pick and choose what I react to. But I think the first time it happened, like, I didn't understand it. Because I'd never had hate thrown at me at that sort of scale. It was very intense and it was coming in thick and fast. And that kind of made me think, am I a bad person? Like, should I not be doing this? Am I doing something wrong? And then as I've kind of grown into the role I do, because I think everyone who does this has to grow into being an influencer, I'm just kind of like, I don't have time. Misery definitely loves company. So I think people who are unhappy put negativity out into the world. So, like, I surround myself with positive people. I always surround myself, because I think if that's your home team, that's always going to be your attitude. Obviously, I have up days and down days, but that's it. But the greatest pleasure for me during my internet times is roasting them. Like, I'm not above it. Like, I love it. The fact that some guys trolled me on the internet for 2 weeks solid, like, there were really horrible messages. There was death threats and all sorts. But the fact they trolled me because I shot someone at a game, they didn't search me. I shot him. He cried on the internet because his face was in the video. And instead of backing down, because I think they generally thought if they hammered me enough, I would back down. But that's not how we are where I'm from. That is not how we are at all. So I was just like, do you know what, mate? You carry on. And then I posted the video of me absolutely wrecking him. And everyone was like, oh no, she was telling the truth. She wasn't cheating. Oh my God, you absolute clown. That was great. And then the guy that's been signing me up to dating websites, that's super weird, sending me emails at 1 o'clock in the morning saying that I'm an attention seeker and always sings. He was in a group the other day and I was just like, stop being a clown. And I posted a picture of his face. He's never shown a picture of his face on the internet. I got you.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny listening to you, because we had, I know Matt Esley, the PopUp Business School's very own Joe Wicks, Answer to Carpentry.
Really well with that. Really well with it.
Matt's approach is very similar to yours when handling that. You know, he sees some negativity and he goes, "This is a chance to play. I'm gonna have fun with this person." And actually, it's almost turning the tables on them. Yeah, on the negativity, which is super cool.
I think there's definitely 2 ways to go about it. You either just ignore it, because sometimes acknowledging it gives it power. And I think a lot of people, everyone's on the internet for attention. Like everyone is on the internet for attention. Some people want positive attention and they want to put positivity out. And then some people just like saying the most controversial thing because they want to be edgy. And it's like, all right, edgelord, sit down, sit down. So you can either...
And you're the person to tell them to sit down, Kelly.
I will tell them to... I'll sit them down. I'll sit them down.
There's folk that are watching this from all over. We've got the Welsh Mafia are here. We've got
Hey, Welsh Mafia.
And we've got Laura jumped in the pool.
Hey, Laura.
She's here. My good friend Anwar is watching as well, which is awesome. Anwar will be super interested in the video and the influencing that you do.
Yeah.
Russell from Kent says, "May the force be with you and your empire, Kelly." So he's picked up on the empire thing.
Long live the resistance.
My great friend Chad's watching from California. "Kids and ladies are the worst for guys to play against because they're harder to aim at, so dudes cry." That's Chad's comments. We've got Anne Doris, soon to be a senior politician in an African country. I'm sure of it. She's watching from Southern Africa and Namibia. And who else we got? We got Chris from Yeovil, Kate from Wales, Joanna from Kent. We got Clive from Wales. Emma's here. Rebecca's here.
My goodness.
Fantastic. So there's a whole bunch of people here. Laura wants to know about Patreon, and she's doing the yoga stuff, and she's super interested to know how Patreon works and how you've approached it.
Yeah. Okay. So Patreon is a web platform where followers and fans can pay you money every month or per piece of work, whichever you decide to do. So like if you're a photographer, you could do it like per piece of published artwork. I do it per month because I post so regularly. I post on so many platforms, and it's basically where you can offer people rewards for supporting you. When I first started this, here's a juicy fact for you. When I first started this, everyone said I was selling my nudes. And I was just like, just subscribe to my Patreon, just pay the fee, and then you can find out. Just do it. I was like, you won't be disappointed even if I am. Like, calm down. But basically, so what I do is on mine, I dedicate blog posts to my highest paying Patreons. I dedicate blog posts to them. So say that I do an interest piece on tactical fanny packs, gloves, I'll dedicate it to them and I'll have their name in the bottom and I'll like link their social media. So that's kind of a nice way to give back. I post behind the scenes photos. All the photos of me that are absolutely hideous from photo shoots go on there. The ones where I'm kind of like, there's one where I'm sat on the floor because I just dived out of the way of a grenade when I was in Wales, and I am on the floor like this. And I upload that because people love it, because I think it makes me seem more approachable.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the real you, the stuff that people can't actually see.
Yeah, but that's how I use Patreon. I use it to people get like, so if you're on one of the lower tiers, you get like a high definition screensaver that you can download every month. They get updates on what I'm doing with patches, blog posts I'm working on. They get to see all the behind the scenes stuff, so they get a lot of my messy office, unfortunately. But great things come from great chaos.
Great stuff. What's your sense of the male female split of your audience?
So I think my audience is 92% male and it's 8% female. The last time I checked, that's what the stats were. But since I started Airsoft in 2014, so I used to be the only female at a game. Unless I was playing with my sister, I would be the only female. And now I can go to a site and there'll be 5, 10 other women there. And it's like, this is amazing. We've now got so many women playing that when we go to the National Airsoft Festival, which is like a 3,000 person festival, I don't go to play because trying to play with 2,000 people in a woodland that's like 190 acres or whatever it is probably bigger than that. That doesn't sound very big in my head now I've said it. But yeah, it's really like, last time I played, I got shot a lot by my own team. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay in the tents and drink. That's what I want to do. And I want to eat like all the Greek kebabs and stuff like that. But now we have so many women playing on the Saturday night, we can organise a women's meetup. And now we take up 2 benches and the men get super, super aggy because they're like, are you using this? We're like, yes! Whilst we're all there drinking like massive pints.
I like it. You're driving your tanks into a male world.
Yeah.
Kelly, congratulations. Outstanding.
Thanks.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
So let's talk about content creation.
Yep.
because especially at the moment, of course, I'm guessing you're needing to be a little bit more creative about content because the stuff isn't writing itself and taking pictures of itself anymore, because obviously you can't go to the meets. But I'm interested to know what's your creative process like? Where do your ideas come from? And how do you create a content rhythm?
Yeah. So I think my content rhythm has always been, some days I'll absolutely smash everything out, and then some days I'll do nothing but post on Instagram. That's it. There's no like in between. There's no, I'll do like, I really like your mug, by the way. I've just seen what that says.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to hold this up a little bit here.
That's
and this
great.
Is true, right? I almost dropped it on my laptop.
Did Lisa make that for you?
She did. Yeah. And wait, check this out.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'm sort of gurning a little bit there. I think that's the sort of grimace that I do after delivering back-to-back pop-up business schools. I think that's the amazing Lisa Marsh from Kent. Yeah, bless her.
Mamaloo Creations.
Yeah.
But I think when I first started out, basically I would see something that I liked, I would buy it, and then I would review it. And then when I started getting sent more kit, what I'd do is I'd pick things I wanted to review. Like, companies sent me a lot of things, but not all of them got featured. It was the things that I really enjoyed and what I thought was relevant to my audience. Now it's shifted. I think every time you progress, it shifts a little bit. So now I'm really interested in all the new stuff. Like, all the new stuff I want to get my hands on, because I want to play with it, because I'm clumsy. I'm not tech minded. You've seen me trying to turn my phone on silent, you know what I mean? So if I can use it, hopefully anyone could use it. But yeah, and there's just only things that I like. Like, at the minute I'm working on a tactical fanny pack piece. I didn't realise.
Sentence of the day, Kelly. You should congratulate yourself on that one.
Thank you. I didn't realise to date, like, how many fanny packs I actually have. And I was like, do you know what would be cool? Tactical fanny pack piece. I would read that. Whether people read it, it is what it is. But I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
I think this has the potential to be your highest performing post of all time.
Ever, mate. But yeah, I like to do a lot of posts about my loadouts, because people are always asking me like what I'm wearing. They'll see pictures from a game day, and then they'll be like, oh, what are you wearing? So now I've been doing lots of posts. So like my M81, which is the US woodland camo, super nice. Did that. The normal British MTP. Flannel. I'm super into flannel shirts. I don't know what it is about them. They've got a sexy lumberjack thing going on, and that's exactly what I want to be, a sexy lumberjack with a gun. That's what I want.
There you go. There's the strap line sorted. Okay, so folks, if you want to be a sexy lumberjack with a gun, please put me, please. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Stick it in the thread, and then we'll start drawing up a list of people that we can send the link to.
Yeah.
This has taken an unexpected twist, Kelly. I picked one hell of a week to stop drinking. This is not good. I feel like I'm living left out. Let's talk about the post. I'm interested to know what have been. Say again.
Say how it happens.
We'll come back to that in a minute. I've got off at a tangent in my head for a minute. I want to know what your highest performing posts have been, and have there been any trends that you think, oh yeah, I learned that was the highest performing post because, either it's something to do with the audience or something to do with the content style or the headline or the picture. What are the traits of the highest performers?
So the highest performing ones I've got on my blog, I think, are the. Why is that going to Zoom? I'm trying to check which ones they are, because I don't want to say this and be wrong. So they are a rifle case review in multicam, a Ranger Green loadout post, a post on Warzone, which was the event I went to in Greece, where I sunburnt every part of my body that I possibly could. An interest piece called The Rise of Women in Airsoft, and a proper M81 post, which was a uniform review. And I think what all of these have in common are they've been shared by very big pages.
Right.
There was a post that was really popular called The 5 Things Airsofters Need to Stop Doing. Right. And that was very popular, but I had to take that down because some people got very, very spicy about it.
Did they?
I should probably, do you know what? I should probably bring it back, because that was like 2015, I think it was. So I took it down because I was like, oh, don't anyone take me? And now I'm like,
I got an
Or
idea
hate
for you.
towards me.
You should make it the 6 things that airsofters shouldn't do. And number 6 is write a post like this and stick it on your blog because people get ever so spicy.
Spicy boys.
Spicy stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, look, I'm interested to know, do you use scheduling tools for your posts? Do you do it directly into the app? How does that work for you?
So I tried Planoly, which is a Instagram social media like planning app, and it's cool. I think it's really awesome to use to like look at your grid and see if a post matches your aesthetic. I'm beyond that. I'm not bothered what the aesthetic is. Like I just post what I want when I want to, sort of thing. But I do appreciate a very curated, beautiful feed. I do appreciate them. But Planoly, I think, is absolutely naff for scheduling posts. So when it's my Instagram, I just post as and when. Facebook, I will let Instagram share any posts I post on Instagram to Facebook. But I do use the Creator Studio in Facebook, which is actually really good. I was very against it at first. I was like, this is trash, but it's really, really good. You get to go in, you can like then monetize in Facebook videos now.
Right. Wow.
I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I tried the Creator Studio and then I thought this looks a bit complicated for me. I can't get the things to work, and I kept on pushing the button and nothing happened. So I thought I just do what I always do when that happens. I just ring Jack, and then Jack's figured it out.
Well, I went on it because I do. I normally on Mondays I go to the office in Shirebrook for the military company that I work for. And I sort of like schedule all their social media, and I have discussion with the manager directors, and like, what would you like this week? And that was one of the first weeks I'd worked from home, and literally I logged into it and I was like, oh no, this has all changed. I was like, oh. But it's pretty easy to use. It's just you have to. I think there's a lot of unnecessary noise at the start. Like you go into it and then you've got all the pages you manage, and because I manage so many pages, I've got like 14 things popping up. I'm like, oh no, just one. But then you can unselect the rest of them. So it's fine.
Okay, cool. So, and how often, I mean, do you set actual times and days where a post goes out same time, every day, every week or whatever? Or do you just post whenever the hell you want? What's your approach to that?
If I'm working for a company and managing their social media, I will have times and I'll have a certain number of posts a day. And that way they know what they can expect from me. And posting more than once a day is definitely the best way to build a following, I think. With mine, because I've got an established following, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm just posting. Because I think it's more authentic. I'm not trying to sell anything to my followers. I'm just kind of being like, this is what I like, this is what I'm doing. Here you go, guys. What do you think? I like to post a lot of hot tub pictures as well.
Well, that's probably going to boost your following from some of this audience as well.
Hopefully.
I think you should post the one where you said you fell out of the hot tub. I think that needs to be.
Guys, it got a little bit dark the night after I got out of the hot tub, and because I stayed in so late, and I got out and promptly fell because I couldn't see the step. It was great.
Got a good question here from Caitlin. So the amazing Caitlin from Old Londinium. She says that working across numerous platforms, I guess numerous accounts as well, because if you're not just running your own, you're running other people's as well as like part of the income stream for you. How are you mapping out your schedule and your days and your weeks and stuff like that? What does that look like?
Caitlin, I'm glad you asked, because I've got a whiteboard right here with it on.
There you go.
So basically what happened was I struggle to work from home a lot, and I also get very distracted very quickly. So now I didn't have a set schedule when I first started. And I think not being in an office every day is quite hard, because I was used to being in an office and working. So I always had set time to start, set time to lunch, set time to like end the day. I didn't have that at the start. So now what I do is Monday is my social media planning day. So I do all my scheduling. I like take photos, see what happens, and then try and match it together on my grid and see what it looks like. Tuesday is blog writing, and I've just wrote write. Wednesday is blog, and it's 6mil. 6mil is my online magazine, so I do all the like extra work for that on that day. YouTube is filming and editing on Thursday. Friday is admin, emails, phone calls, accounts, all the things I hate doing. Can leave that to Friday, because then afterwards I can have a drink. And then Saturday and Sunday is airsoft, and then that's when I try to take all of my photos while I'm airsoft, because it like kills two birds with one stone. and I also record my gameplay then as well. So that's how I try and structure it. I tried to work 9 to 5. It doesn't work for me. I either need to work 6 till 2 or like 1 till 10. And it all depends how I feel that day. So that's not very helpful. I think it's quite hard to be accountable. When you're the boss, it's very, very hard to be accountable. But I have found in lockdown, especially because I can't go out and go to the site and just do like photo shoots and everything that I want to do, getting up, showering, putting my makeup on, and then getting dressed. I know a lot of people are super happy about wearing pajamas all the time, and I love me some PJs and a fluffy dressing gown. I love it, but I had to have some normality, so I had to put makeup on and get dressed and go to work.
Good stuff. Okay, cool. So I guess I'm interested in the list building side of things. So when you launched the blog, you because I noticed like you click on the website and then a little subscribe box comes up, and you use Weebly, I think, for your website, don't you? Is yours a Weebly site?
I use Weebly for the .com site, which is the main site with all the about and stuff. And then Blogger is what I host the blog on, which is why everyone told me the blog would never make money, because it was hosted on Blogger. But Blogger's super simple to use, and you can buy beautiful templates for it. So I'm about it.
It's very easy to use, yeah.
Yeah, anything that makes my life easier, I am about it. Why would you make your life hard for yourself?
So that little pop-up where you're asking people for, to give you their email address and so on, has that changed? Have you changed it up recently, or is that one that you've had for ages and ages? And is that a MailChimp thing, or is that a Weebly or a Blogger plugin? How did you get the mechanism behind it to capture email addresses?
There was one pop-up that I went to, and I just went to hang out and just say hello and stuff, because I do that a lot. I went in, and then someone was telling me about the importance of an email list, and I hadn't bothered. And I was like, what is the importance of this email list? What is the importance of it? I don't see it. I don't get it. Like, I don't think it adds any value. But then I realized, I was looking at the visitors coming through the website, and I'm like, if every single one of those signed up to an email list, I'd have a pretty massive list. So I was doing it, and I found something called Milo Tree, which is an add-in. You can basically just add it into the HTML of your website at the bottom. It just pops up. Sometimes it's an email capture, sometimes it pops up with my Instagram, sometimes it's Facebook, sometimes it's YouTube. It just cycles between, so that's quite cool. It's like multifaceted. But so I started getting that on there, people started subscribing, and then I started a MailChimp, because you can import it directly into MailChimp. And then I set up the RSS feed for my blog, which basically means every Friday at 1 p.m. all everyone on that list gets an email saying updates from Femme Fatale Airsoft, and they get to see all of the blog posts at a glance, and they can click on them. And I think that's nice, especially if you don't, because I don't have a regular posting schedule. If you want to do well on YouTube, absolutely, regular posting schedules, that's what you need. But with blogging, because mine is very much dependent on when I can do the photos, when the products come in, because obviously with everything going on now, the shipping times are insane. It's just as and when. So I think it's nice to have like 1 p.m. Friday, everyone knows there will be posts to read, and they'll get a little email saying, hey, this is what's going on right now. Yeah. Okay,
that makes sense. So the list is something that you're working on as more of a recent thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So if you were starting Femme Fatale tomorrow morning, what would you do differently this time round compared to how it's kind of grown organically, if anything? What would you change up?
I feel like I would try and believe in myself a bit more, because one of the things I think you have to have for this is to just know that you can do it. Because it's super hard to quit your job. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying not to have a safety net. You're kind of like, oh my God. And I think if I had been more confident about my worth and value within the industry at the start, I probably would have commanded more respect at the start. And also it wouldn't have taken this long to get to this point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it'd have happened sooner.
Yeah, definitely. I think because I meet a lot of YouTubers and they are confident, sometimes unwarranted, but they're super confident, and that's how they do so well, because they're super confident. And I'm like, if I was like that earlier on, and I think up until it's been a very, very recent thing that I've been very what is your opinion though? When I first started, I was very self-conscious very self-conscious about what people thought of me and what their opinions were of me. And I think if I just probably shoved that out of my mind a little bit more, I probably would have done. Because now I'll post something, I'll be like, and what? Done, bye, sorted. I'll come back in like an hour and see what the comments say, and then we'll go through the comments. But before, so I'd deliberate for hours over whether to post something, because I'm like, what if people don't like it? What if people say mean things about me? Because no one likes mean things said about them. No one likes it. But yeah, definitely having more confidence in yourself. Just back yourself. Anything you do, even if it's ridiculous AF, just own it. Because people can respect that. Like, even if you massively, just own it. Just do it. Just be like, yeah, and what?
I love it.
I also would have put the email list in a lot sooner as well. That would
okay, yeah, that as well. Definitely that as well.
Definitely
that as well.
Back yourself, email. Do that.
I think we've had a couple more questions. There might be some YouTube questions for you as well. But for that, I need the mighty Jack Aling. Jack Aling.
I'm fixing this.
It's gone dark. There you go. Look at that. We've gone into nightclub mode.
Nightclub mode. Party, guys. These change colours, by the way. They're very fancy. I say I'm fixing it. I am trying. Jack, help.
You don't know what you're doing, do you?
I've purposely done something.
I'm trying. My battery pack won't work.
I think we can legitimately
Blinded.
White lights. We can legitimately blame Jack, because as soon as Jack appeared, your light went off.
I pressed the wrong button as I appeared.
Put your finger on the button, Jack. Put your finger on the button.
Finger on the button. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find.
So we're just talking amongst ourselves, Kelly. Don't worry. It's not like like we've got a bunch of people watching on Facebook. Oh, there you're back. There we go. So, Jack, was there a Patreon question that I missed, or do we want to go into a bit more detail about that? What was on your mind about that? And or should we chat YouTube? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll jump into Patreon first. I think we've explored over this series a bit with Matt Esley and a few others, a bit about monetizing and affiliate links, but we haven't delved that much into Patreon. So, Kelly, I just wanted to know, like, what's your experience been? How does it work? That kind of like, what's your thoughts on Patreon?
So I think Patreon is a cool platform if you've got some super hardcore fans. Definitely, if you've got super hardcore fans, definitely a way to go. My experience of it has been super positive. I've got quite a few subscribers. You just have to make sure you're consistent with the content you post on it. So like if you say like these people are going to get this from you, you'd definitely have to make sure that it's consistent and you do it on time.
So do you post it on Patreon that's behind the login that people subscribe to, then they get that stuff?
Yeah.
Or do they only get that stuff when they pledge certain amounts of money? Like what's the actual mechanics behind the scenes?
So the way it comes up when you go into it and you're not subscribed, you get, so there's obviously my picture and a big cover photo, and there's the story of the blog. And then underneath it, they ask you what your goals are. And they also ask you what you're going to use the money for. So my what I use the money for is new kit. I use it for that. Camera equipment. Generally, if anything goes wrong, because battery packs and cameras break a lot in my line of work anyway. Obviously not in Jack's because he looks after them very well. Mine tend to get shot. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say I use mine for. And then when I get new equipment, I put it on there. I'm like, hey guys, got a new camera. Thank you for the support. Yeah, so basically it comes up as anything that's not the tier you're pledged to is all blurred out. It sounds like OnlyFans at this point, doesn't it? It sounds like OnlyFans. But I normally post it. So I'll post it to the subscribers, and then you can basically release it 3 days early. So I release it to all the subscribers, and there are certain posts that I'll just release to the public afterwards, so you can see what's on it. So you can kind of see what's on there before you subscribe. But yeah, it's a lot of me looking ridiculous in photo shoots, to be honest. It's a lot of that.
So you're basically you're posting stuff on Patreon before you post it on your website.
Yeah.
And the subscribers see it on Patreon rather than see it on your website, right?
Yeah, they get to have a look at any before when I start something, they'll get an inside look on what I'm doing, so they'll get to see the kit before I post it on the blog or Instagram. So they get a first view of everything, and they also get to know me a little bit better. Yeah, so that's cool for them. I don't know if it's cool for them.
It's like a paid for like VIP club.
Yeah,
that's where your true fans go. I love that.
It's my squad.
Nice. 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's not too shabby, is it?
It isn't too shabby, considering I took a year-long break in 2017 and just said, "F it, I'm not uploading anymore because this isn't right. I lost my YouTube monetization. I'm not doing it anymore." And then I was like, I wasn't even doing it for the monetization anyway. I was doing it because I like making videos. So why aren't I doing it? And then I carried on. I got over myself.
Cool.
I have to check myself sometimes.
So you do all of your editing yourself as well?
So I do all of my vlog editing myself. I have a dude called Rich, lives in Bristol. He helps me with all my gameplay editing. He puts all the camera angles together, because Jack will tell you, I'll message him and be like, how does one do this? How does one take a video off of Facebook and take something out of it? Because I'm not tech minded, but no, Rich takes all so I have 3 cameras on my gun. I have a zoom cam, which can zoom in really closely to see, just because I want to see people's faces when I shoot them. That's what I want. I'm a sadist. I've got a selfie cam, so I can look at myself, and I've got a head cam so you can see everything. He puts all those together and he chops out all the boring bits where I'm just like walking. I do a lot of chatting as well. There'll be 5 minutes of me being like, "Yeah, so what you having?"
I find that very hard to believe, Kelly. I find that very hard to believe.
I don't talk that much at all. But yeah.
So have you got yourself into a rhythm of posting on YouTube now? Are you committed to that, or is that on pause because of lockdown, or are you still a bit sporadic? Where are you at?
I try and post 4 times a month, so once a week. But it's been quite sporadic because usually I film all my videos at the airsoft site when I'm there on the weekends. But because we've been inside, I've not been able to do that. I don't want to film outside my back garden because my neighbours are crazy. But I did just buy a mannequin. It's sat right next to me. It's pretty creepy in the dark, I have to say. But I bought that. So now, because I think kit looks better when it's on something because you can explain it. It's filled out. It looks like it should, because you can't really explain when it's sat on the floor. But I have got that now. I haven't used it yet for a video, but it will get used. Essentially, I've got lockdowns lifted in 5 days or something. Well, lifted. So I've got 5 days to catch up on everything I've not done in the last 10 weeks because I've been sat in my hot tub.
So you can social distance photo shoot at the airsoft site in a few days' time. Is that the plan?
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some outfits out, pop them in my bag, and then I'll probably go to the airsoft site on my own, because I discovered this great invention, which I had not considered before. It's not on my desk, it's downstairs because I take pictures in my kitchen. A Bluetooth shutter for my phone.
There you go.
Timers are, I don't like them because I always, the first couple I'm just like, stupid for pictures. So yeah, timers, you just hide it in your hand and then take photos. So I think I'm going to grab some stuff, because I've got the amount of kit that came to my house after lockdown started had me raging. I was so ragey about it because I was getting all this kit and I was just like, it's so nice. I just want to play airsoft now. But yeah, I'm going to go to the airsoft site, take some photos. I might take my sister with me.
Very cool. Yeah, take your sister. Take Jack if you want. Jack's an excellent mannequin for airsoft equipment. I think one last thought then, Kelly. We've got a bunch of people that will be really interested about starting a blog. I know John's kind of going, he'd be a bit worried about setting something up and then people not reading it, and or maybe you get someone reading it and then you lose them again, which is some of the frustration that I've had. Yeah. What advice would you give someone that wants to start a blog that's thinking, should I do it? Shouldn't I? What if no one reads it? What would you say to someone who's right at the start of a blogging / influencing journey?
Just do it. I think you'll only find out if you like doing it and if you can keep doing it if you just try. You don't know what you like until you try. So I would say set it up, put a first post out. The first post is always an introduction post anyway, so that's pretty easy. And then after that, you can go into whatever it is you want to do, whether it's cars, airsoft, like beard oil, I don't know, whatever your jam is really. Go into it and then don't chase the numbers, because I think you can get very, very consumed by chasing numbers. I know I actually checked myself last year because the numbers to me were more important than what I was doing. And that's when I checked myself and I was like, no, I need to take it back to what it was at the start, which was me having a platform, me enjoying it. So now I enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, don't chase the numbers. The numbers will come. People will read. Share it amongst your friends, family, because it doesn't cost anything to read a blog. Visit, have a look what it is. Yeah. Start, don't chase numbers.
Yeah, I like that. That's cracking advice. Kelly, you're an absolute legend in your gun cupboard.
People ask me what, because I don't shut the blind, and this house is on like a main road, and my window is like, it's massive, and everyone's like, do people not walk past and be like, what's going on there? And I'm like, if they do, they've never said anything. No one's ever knocked on the door and been like, hey, are you a psycho? Because I think they're too scared to do that.
I'm not surprised. Kelly, look, best of luck with what happens with the blog next. I know you'll keep in touch with us. Thank you for sharing your thoughts tonight. Thank you to everybody for watching the live stream. Something special is going to be happening with the live stream slot next week. Jack, we're not going to do a reveal yet, are we? We're going to keep it secret for a moment.
Yes, keep your eyes peeled to our social media over the next week or so. Yeah, we're changing it up next week.
Oh no,
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is exciting. So you don't like change. We don't handle change well. Change is the only certainty, Kelly. Change is the only certainty. Thanks to everybody for watching, and we will see you again very soon.
Yeah, we will. Thank you, guys.
Stay safe, everybody.